Hi, my name is Gary Hall, Sr. I am the Technical Director for the Race Club in Islamorada, Florida. And I'd like to welcome you to the first annual Forum Race Club Camp. This year we had several Forum members from around the country who visited us to learn about the most important fundamentals of fast swimming. We spent 3 days teaching the importance of drag, the importance of body motion, and the importance of maintaining speed through a constant force of inertia. It was a great group, a very talented group, and I hope you all had as much fun as I did learning how to swim faster. Ready?
Here Frank Cody is demonstrating my favorite drill for head position, which is called the head down sculling drill. He's sculling with his hands in front, swimming or kicking flutter kick, but he keeps the head down except for the breath, and you notice the water comes over the top of his head. Here again, notice where he's looking, straight down, maybe even a little behind him in the sculling position, getting that head in the position where the body becomes aligned. By keeping the head down here, the hips come up and the body is horizontal, creating the least amount of drag going through the water. And here David Painter has his head just a little bit too high. There he dropped it down appropriately. You want to keep the head down so the water flows over the top. And in this case, he's doing a little breaststroke pull, which is actually not sculling. That's a tiny breaststroke pull. You like to do sculling where you feel the water coming inside and outside as you go side to side.
Okay, good. I always like to breathe to the side when you do that. So when you lift your head up to the front, you automatically go back to that position. Now if you breathe to the side, you can hold that horizontal body position. You don't lose it.
Now we're going into the body drill. This is the one where we kept our hands at the side, trying to rotate completely over to the vertical. Here you see David Painter doing a really good job. He's got a really strong kick, which enables him to get from one side to the other very nicely. This is a quick snap rotation from left to the right. Now the way to do this appropriately is, and here David McIntyre is turning his head. You want to keep looking at the bottom, rotate the body, and Frank Cody does a little bit the same thing. He's rotating his head with the body. You really want to keep your head straight, looking straight down, let the body rotate with the head position constant except for the breath. You can also do this drill with a snorkel where you don't have to turn your head to breathe, so it makes it a little bit easier to keep your head positioned still. Now this is the high elbow drill. This is one where we use one arm at a time, concentrating on pulling with the elbow very close to the surface. Here David Painter goes 3 or 4 strokes with the left, then 3 or 4 with the right, and then the last 25 he'll swim with both arms together. The best way to remember to keep your elbows high is to swim with one arm at a time. And here David Painter does a nice job keeping his elbows up. This is the thing that he needs to work on the most of all the fundamentals. David McIntyre here does a very nice job, a little too deep with the elbow, but he keeps his head down beautifully. Carl Wiedemann, very nice job with the high elbow. You can see how close his elbow stays to the surface. Gets over on his side and then back on his stomach. This is one of my favorite shots here of Chris Gilligan. Look at the beautiful head position, which we finally got her to get into. And I love this drill because it teaches you to come over the top, touching the string over your shoulder with that thumb and attacking the water from above rather than from the side. This is the way sprinters sprint. This is slow motion, but it gives you the fundamental of coming over the top, using the body, shoulder rotation, hip rotation, getting the power, the distance per stroke improved with every stroke. Remember, we create that counter force with the counter rotation of our body, which gives us a pitching mound to throw against. And here David Painter again doing a nice job getting over the top, using one arm at a time, trying to keep the elbows up. David drops his elbow here a little bit. This was the thing that he was most guilty of in swimming and can improve him the most, to keep the elbows high. Now this was a 3-stroke 6-kick drill where you did the same thing as before, using the body, but this time we throw 3 strokes rather than 1 to get the feeling of swimming continuously using the shoulders and hip rotation. And Chris does a nice job coming over the top. Notice she keeps her head in good position, looking down. She's looking down, but she's bringing her shoulders over the top, holding in front. Good body rotation. This is me from behind, trying to show you how I come over the top, bringing the hand thumb close to the shoulder as I come with a bent elbow, but still trying to get the body rotation to get maximum force out of each pull. And here Chris on the left, nice job of coming over the top, getting her head down, getting a good body rotation, maximizing the efficiency of each arm pull. And Carl Wiedemann coming in, also using good body rotation. Here David Painter doing the same. Again, a little too deep drop with the elbow. You notice how deep his arm, almost straight there. You look, see how it almost straight down. Want to keep the elbows closer to the surface. David McIntyre does a very nice job here at keeping high elbow. Here Frank Cody is going in a slow stroke, but trying to come over the top with the elbows and shoulder high. Hands coming through, touching the string over the shoulder.
Over the top. So I'm going to do Dolphin Freeway freestyle at the black line, and we'll stop there, and we're going to swim back in a sprint.
And this is the third fundamental, the one on inertia, where we have to continue the speed constant, and the way we do that is increase the stroke rate. We teach that with a dolphin kick, where you take 1 stroke with 1 kick. Forces you up the on-ramp onto the freeway. You have no choice to keep up with your legs other than using this high stroke rate. And here you throw a freestyle kick into it, flutter kick, trying to keep the same high stroke rate, keeping the elbows up, keeping the head down. That becomes a shoulder-driven freestyle that you see almost every 50 freestyler use. And here they're David and Carl, Chris, all using the dolphin kick. Mac, all using the dolphin kick to try to increase the stroke rate. Look how fast Frank Cody is going over there in lane 1. Now this is flutter kick using that high stroke rate. Frank Cody impressed me. David McIntyre, very fast stroke rate. That's why he's such a good sprinter. David Painter here, getting a stroke rate up for David was challenging, but the dolphin kick helped. He got into the 90s on the strokes per minute, which is much higher than he was before. Now here, he's trying to go fast, but he's dropped the elbows again and he's looking up. So you can see the body position wasn't great. Chris Gilligan here has got her head down, keeping her elbows high. Good stroke rate. That's what we needed out of Chris, was to get her stroke rate higher, and this was enabled her to do it. She got into the 90s as well. Some of the other swimmers, Dave McIntyre, Frank Cody, went over 100 in the stroke rate. Now Chris throws the flutter kick in, trying to keep the stroke rate high. She smiles for the camera there. She's very friendly that way. But a very nice body position, head down, shoulders high. Here's Frank Cody. Now Frank, sometimes he'll look up like that, and then sometimes he'll look back down. But when he goes hard, Frank has a tendency to look up, as you'll see in a minute. Good stroke rate, very fast stroke rate, but he forgets to keep his head down, so his body position changes to a less desirable position. And here you'll see that. See, now he's trying to go fast, but he's looking way forward instead of looking down. And although he keeps his elbows pretty high, the body position is not a very good one for sprinting. Now, Betty Lou does a very nice job with turning her arms over fast. Look at her beautiful head position. Her kick isn't as strong as the rest of you, because she hasn't swum as long. But her turnover and her body rotation is beautiful. She does a nice job rotating. What Betty Lou needs to do is get stronger with her arms, because her elbows tend to lead in front of her hands, where the rest of you with stronger arms can let the hands drop down below the elbow and get much more power out of each pull. As Betty gets stronger with that turnover and good body rotation, she's going to become an awesome swimmer. And here Carl Wiedemann maybe has the highest elbow of all of you, very strong swimmer. He's got his head down position good. And Dave McIntyre had one of the highest stroke rates of all of our swimmers. I think he measured at 118 in his 50, 110 to 118. And that's one of the keys to a good sprinter, is to be able to turn those arms, the upper body, over quickly.
What this group reminded me about was how talented they were and how important it is to learn fundamentals at any age. Whether it's a 10-year-old age grouper or a 75-year-old master swimmer who's trying to win the world championships, it doesn't really matter. The fundamentals are the same for all of us. And I hope by learning these fundamentals that you all improved a little bit in your technique. That was good. Wasn't quite as perfect as the last.
It comes and goes.
It was good. It was close enough. All right, watch Frank do it. Frank, do how you